marami siyang like na-encounter na bash, no? At itong mga bash, she's not being able to shield herself properly, no? Parang ina-absorb niya yung mga negative comments. And that should have been like part of being an influencer, no? Kasi hindi naman lahat positive yung Maayong hello everyone. It's been a while because yun nga medyo na busy sa ibang mga bagay. But I hope I'm not too late. I think because it's been a week since lumabas tong balitang to. It was very shocking to actually hear yung balita with regards to Emmanuel Atienza, yung anak ni Kuya Kim, no? Wherein she was found dead, dated. I think it was on October 22. Let's try to check this video here. Ayan, para at least may overview tayo no, kung ano talagang nangyari kay Emmanuel. And let's try to talk something about what happened to her. And let's play this. Ayan, maganda si Emmanuel. Prominent Filipino Filipinos family announced the passing of their daughter. Yun nga, officially, known as Emmanuel, 19, bata, in Los Angeles. Okay? Probably living best known as social media influencer to young users, Rising Star was a platform where she expressed her thoughts. Okay, alright. It was in showcasing her. Okay, so it's very sad. It's a very sad news to hear this. And as far as I am aware, parang nabalita kasi na she had a like a mix of emotion with probably it ended up with depression. And I think I've also heard na sinabi niyang magpapa check up siya kasi nga may problem siya, no, in terms of like being able to admit na may depression na nagaganap na. And of course, the depression that we are talking about isn't an easy thing. And yun nga yung sinasabi ko sa halos lahat, no, yun yung sinasabi ko sa lahat ng mga lectures ko na pag yung isang tao nag-verbalize ng depression, it's really easy for one person to, for a normal person to say na, okay lang yan, just pray to God, you'll be fine. No? That's an easy thing for a normal person to say. But for the person who is experiencing that depression, meron na kasing problema doon. And for her, although marami na nagsasabi sa kanya na magiging okay siya, di yun nagiging basta-basta. Because nga, may rewiring, may synapse problem, may issues na yung brain niya in terms of being able to really implicate kung ano yung tama or kung ano yung proper, no? Kaya nag end up into depression. So, basically, for today's topic, we're gonna be talking about depression and its science, no? Because the science of depression, this one explores the biological, the psychological, and of course the social factors that interact to produce the depressive condition. And syempre, we're gonna be talking about the different perspectives, no? Kung bakit ba nagkakaroon ng depression ang isang tao. And as what I've said, it's really important to make sure that our loved ones are safe by talking to them, by expressing, or by checking them out if they are okay or not. No? Nakakatulong talaga yan. Now, the first perspective that we need to understand is that our brain has these chemistry and yung tinatawag nating neurotransmitters, no? Because itong depression is highly linked to the imbalances, no, na nangyayari sa brain chemicals and also with the neurotransmitters we have. And these imbalances ay nakakaapekto sa mood, sa motivation, and of course, energy. So, Number one dito is yung tinatawag nating serotonin. So, itong serotonin, ito yung nagre-regulate ng mga mood natin, ng tulog, at saka ng appetite. And pag mababa itong serotonin level is nagkakaroon ng sadness, nagkakaroon din ng irritability, and worst comes to worst is pumupunta sa depression. Pangalawa naman is yung itong tinatawag nating dopamine. Okay? Itong dopamine is isa na naman itong neurotransmitter na associated sa like mga pleasure, mga motivation, mga reward, and basically this dopamine tantamounts to happiness. No? Nagiging happy ang isang tao nang dahil sa neurotransmitter na to. And pag kulang-kulang yung dopamine, syempre nagkakaroon ng lack of like interest or lack of motivation para gumawa ng mga bagay-bagay. And of course, yung neurotransmitter na tinatawag nating norepinephrine, no? Because itong norepinephrine, ito ay nag-i-influence sa pagiging energetic at yung alertness ng isang tao. And pag masyadong mababa ito, nakaka-cause ito ng tinatawag nating fatigue or nagkakaroon ng poor concentration. Hindi nakakapag-focus sa kanyang gawain pang araw-araw. And especially if ang tatlong ito ay may deficit or may problem, then in most cases, it will definitely lead to depression. Ayan, so number two naman natin is yung tinatawag natin na brain structures and of course the function of the brain. So if may mga changes na nangyayari sa brain or sa regions or sa mga parts nito, nagkakaroon ng alteration no sa control ng mga emotions at especially in terms of stress. So yung first na part ng brain is yung tinatawag na amygdala, no? If affected ito, nagiging overactive ang isang tao at parang tumataas yung mga negative emotions at saka mga responses niya. Pangalawang part or structure ng brain is yung tinatawag na hippocampus na pwedeng mag-shrink ito no if merong tinatawag nating chronic stress at saka if mataas yung cortisol level. Cortisol is yung stress hormone, no? And if this happens, nakaka-apekto ito sa memorya and of course the emotional regulation. So that's why there are people who has the bipolar case, no? Nagiging manic, nagiging depressive, but mainly if severe ang issue ng emotion regulation, no, mag-lead ito sa depression. And of course, the prefrontal cortex. Itong prefrontal cortex, itong nasa front natin, ito yung area na in charge sa knowledge at saka sa decision making natin. And if kulang-kulang ito, then of course it will lead to like poor decision making. Hindi tama yung mga decision na ginagawa mo from time to time. And also, there will be a reduced ability to control yung mga negative thoughts na nasa isip ng isang tao. Okay? So, ang pangatlo is yung tinatawag nating mga hormones at saka yung mga stress response. So, take note natin na sa ating brain structure, meron tayong tinatawag na HPA axis. Itong HPA axis is yung hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis na kumbaga siya yung nagmamanage no kung paano yung katawan natin magre-response to stress. So if it is overactive no yung katawan natin ay nagre-release ng yung sinabi ko kanina na cortisol or yung stress hormone. Yung stress hormone if na distribute yan sa katawan at sa brain cells mo no nagkakaroon yan ng mga poor decision making, yung disturbed sleep pattern at saka yung nagiging worse na yung mga mood swings mo. Okay? So nangyayari yung ganun. And there is an alteration in between the defense mechanism and the coping mechanism that you have. So, ang difference na ng dalawa is that yung defense mechanism is hindi mo pinag-isipan kung ano yung ginagawa mo. So, for example, na if you are stressed and then kumain ka for like yun, kumain ka ng kahit ano, but you were unable to monitor yourself if you're doing okay with the food that you are eating, no? Mas lalo kang tumataba, no? Yan yung nangyayari sa defense mechanism. You are unconsciously doing it. Meanwhile, sa coping mechanism is that you are consciously aware of what you are doing. So, kung nasa-stress ka, kakain ka, but you put yourself into limit, knowing that may harm din yung ginagawa if you eat too much. No? So, that's mainly the difference between the coping and the defense mechanism. And if both are altered, no, it will definitely lead to depression. Yung pang-apat na i-consider natin is yung genetics at saka yung family history mo, no? So if yung lolo at lola mo or any one of them, any of the family tree, if meron sa kanila na uh, may issue in terms of depression, like it runs in the family, no, it will account to what you will encounter or experience, no, in the long run. So, siguro mga 30 to 40% pwede mong ma-acquire yung depression na nangyayari sa katawan. Yan, na nangyayari sa'yo. And in most cases, if drugs come in, no, if may influence sa droga, it will also trigger the brain to acknowledge na pwedeng magkakaroon ng depression ng isang tao, no, once ma-trigger siya through drugs. And of course, the psychological and environmental factors. Itong psychological and environmental factors, very swak ito sa nangyari kay Emmanuel. Kasi nga, since she is an influencer on TikTok and as far as I know, marami siyang like na-encounter na bash, no? At itong mga bash, she's not being able to shield herself properly, no? Parang inaabsorb niya yung mga negative comments. And that should have been like part of being an influencer, no? Kasi hindi naman lahat positive yung sinasabi ng mga tao. Posible kasi may mga negative din. And unfortunately, on her case, since inaabsorb niya yung mga negative feelings, it adds on to the negative self-talk na sinasabi natin, no? So this would also include yung mga childhood trauma, no? I've heard in an interview with Tony and Emmanuel na meron siyang childhood trauma with her caretaker na posibleng nagbigay sa kanya ng add-on depression, no? Parang siguro baka bumabalik 'yon sa kanya. And also the what we call the social isolation, kasama ito. It will provide like a chronic stress, no? And this chronic these chronic stress will actually add on to the changes in the neurotransmitter na sinasabi natin kanina. And yung cognitive patterns na maging include yung negative self-talk, sinasabi niya sa sarili niya na pangit siya or wala siyang kwenta, mali yung sinasabi ko, no? If that comes into mind and parang inaabsorb niya, no? It will eventually end to helplessness, and helplessness can maintain the depressive cycles, no? Nagagawa yung ganun. And also according to research, naging add din yung as number 6 yung inflammation at saka yung issues with the immune system. So if my inflammation na nag-i-exist, no, it may again contribute to depression. And if there are issues with the immune system, like mababa ito, madaling you easily get sick, that will come into mind na pwedeng magkakaroon din ng depression ng isang tao, no? And of course, the what we call the neuroplasticity and the recovery, because we all know that the brain can rewire itself, no, except kung merong stroke. But pag may issues lang ng mga pag may encounter lang ng mga stress or being heartbroken or financial problem, yung brain nagre-rewire to cope up, to heal itself along the way, no, especially with the help of therapy, through medication, and of course with lifestyle changes. Sama dito yung mga exercises, yung mga yoga, yung mga mindfulness, and yung mga learning. This one ideally can boost the what we call the neurogenesis or the growth of the neurons, wherein it helps the person have a healthy brain. And if these things are altered, posible na yung tao is eventually mag-lead to being helpless and uh, feel depression along the way. And unfortunately, with the case of depression, if this one is not expressed, if this one is not vent out, if hindi ito napalabas, at walang nag-monitor or probably walang pwedeng kumausap, no, or nangamusta perhaps, it can lead to a worst case scenario like suicide. So unfortunately, it happens. It's a reality na some people have this, and if this is being seen or if this is being evident, it is advised na the person should seek, no, a psychiatric consultation para malaman kung anong pwedeng intervention na gawin. Baka kailangan lang ng family support or baka kailangan lang kausapin, no? If not, baka need na niyang mag-take ng mga medication. And these medications can help the person rewire the brain and be able to understand herself, himself better, and be able to do his daily activities. No, so I hope you guys learned something with regards to the science of depression. And always remember to take care of yourself, take care of your brain, because without mental health, everything is taken. Thank you so much and take care.